If this is what you think of when you hear about drones, then this video is about to change your whole perspective. From complete immersion to a life-changing community, FPV offers a lot more than just another drone shot.
Totally changed my life getting into FPV, and it's just one of my favorite hobbies that I still have to this day.
Right, so to set the tone properly, this is what your standard photography drone might look like, and it captures the footage that we've all grown to know and love as drone shots. This type of drone can simply be bought from a lot of stores and is generally pretty simple to wrap your head around in regards to flying. I mean, they have auto takeoff, hover in the air, and have sensors to help you avoid crashing. On top of this, they generally also come with a bunch of smart features built into their software. These features are like returning to their takeoff location when they're too low on battery, holding themselves steady in high wind conditions, and they also have tons of auto capture options that allow them to operate and get you your stunning footage autonomously. Traditionally, FPV drones are the complete opposite, with literally none of these features. So let's start off with what FPV even is. FPV stands for first person view, which essentially means that what the person flying is seeing is exactly what the drone is seeing. The video feed from the drone is transmitted to a pair of goggles that have little screens inside, and because they cover the operator's normal vision, they can literally only see exactly what the drone is seeing, creating a super immersive experience. This locked-in experience provides a ton of benefits to flying by helping the operator focus on exactly what they are seeing. Generally speaking, for the majority of FPV drones, they do also require constant attention and have 100% input from the operator at all points in time, meaning if you let go of the controller sticks, the drone's not going to correct itself and it will most likely end up crashing. Unlike the standard photography drones too, FPV drones have a fairly steep learning curve to get in the air, and most people wouldn't be able to pick up a controller and actually fly the drone. Now, I can tell you may be starting to think that this is all too hard and not worth your time, but seriously, hear me out, I was in your exact position just 2 years ago. I personally started flying drones back when the DJI Mavic Pro came out way back in 2016. At the time, these were still crazy new pieces of technology that had a camera built into it and could be flown by anyone, so naturally, I love taking it out for flights daily just to get the fun rush of flying something around and seeing the world from a brand new perspective. As time has gone on, these perspectives have been standardized and are genuinely limited by how the drone flies. What I mean here is these drones fly up, down, side to side, and you can tilt the camera, which is mounted on a small gimbal. While this is fantastic for smooth flying and general tracking, it doesn't offer the complete control that an FPV drone offers. These drones can flip, roll, cut power to the motors to let it drop through the sky in massive dives, you name it. This complete control allows operators to fly stupidly close to things, which, when you're immersed in the goggles, it feels like you yourself are right there too, zooming past whatever the hell it might be. What I'm getting at here is FPV drones have unlimited potential to fly however and in whatever style you want without the limitations, making FPV drones consistently fun to fly for everybody in any situation. It can be for the high action and competitive with racing and long range. It can be for the videographers to tap into their more creative juices with cinematics. It can be for the people who just want a way to relax after work with some freestyle. I mean, honestly, when I say it can be for anyone, it really can be anyone. There's even aspects to this hobby that I didn't even touch for 2 years. An example of this is building my own drone from scratch. It's required learning new skills, finding patience, and humbling myself by reaching out to friends for help. To add to it all, I know for a fact that the FPV hobby as a whole has not only given people a new hobby, but it's genuinely transformed people's lives in deep and meaningful ways. Take my friend Sam for example here.
Hey, my name's Sam Lee. I'm an ex-professional freeride skier. A handful of years ago, while I was competing on the world tour, I broke my leg in training pretty severely. And it was at that point that while I was on crutches for about 3 months, my friend Julius got me into FPV. And in that time, things were really uncertain for me in skiing, and I didn't know what was going to happen really. I didn't know how well I would recover. I think the freedom and the excitement that you get from flying FPV is super similar in a lot of ways to what you get from doing action sports, just again without the same risk. So man, totally changed my life getting into FPV, and it's just one of my favorite hobbies that I still have to this day.
And as if changing one person's life for the better wasn't enough, take any of these messages that I got telling me how FPV has positively affected people's lives or changed the direction of where they thought they were going. By the way, all these people I've only recently met and become friends with. I'm meaning start of this year, I didn't know any of them. And that brings us into the biggest part of FPV, which in my opinion is super overlooked and doesn't get mentioned enough, especially not to beginners. This community thing is more than it sounds like. Not only is it one of the most welcoming communities on the damn planet, but it's also the most helpful, generous, and easy to make friends in environment. I recently said in a post that one of my own biggest issues that I faced for my first 500 days of FPV had nothing to do with the drones, equipment, or time. Instead, it came down to a severe lack of knowledge and understanding of the true FPV community that existed in my literal backyard. It gives me real reason to get out and hang out with people doing something that I love. It builds my skills up every time I have to fix something, and ultimately has me excited every day to wake up and make these videos to help grow the #1 community on the planet. If you want to learn more, you can watch the next video in the starter series. Otherwise, peace out.